Sheilas and fellas, today we found an absolute bargain on Amazon, a complete gaming rig with an RTX 5070 Ti, 32 gigabytes of RAM and 2 terabytes of storage for an incredible 1,449 United States sausages. The only problem? It's from their refurbished selling partner Woot, and it's from MSI, which we have shown in previous videos put some pretty poor motherboards and other components into their high-end builds. So let's tear it apart piece by piece to see if this is a scam or a steal, and stick around until the end, mate, because if the components are good, Hank will show you tips that can be used to flip this thing for a huge profit. Let's get to it. So here is the box in all of its glory, and it's looking in tip-top shape considering it's refurbished. Now before we get started, if you can like the video and subscribe to the channel, that'll be a huge help to Hank as he continues to review all of these expensive pre-builts, mate. He will love you forever. Now if you want to buy this thing brand new, it ain't gonna be cheap, mate. Walmart currently has it for 2,229 United States hamburgers, while Amazon is selling it for 2,450 bucks, so do not bother at those prices. The method we used to stumble across this glorious find for 1,449 bucks was using slickdeals.net, a completely free website and not a sponsor of the channel. We just come up the top here and type gaming PCs and a ton of them get listed. We check it about 5 times a day and then boom, baby, a deal like this falls into our lap. Now, as I mentioned earlier, this is from the Amazon retailer Woot, who constantly sells MSI PCs as refurbished for very cheap. For example, in a previous video, we got the MSI Titan 18-inch RTX 5090 laptop for around 3,000 spankers. It was a pretty incredible find considering that brand new, this thing is usually 5,000 United States clamshells, and it literally didn't have a scratch on it, so let's see if we got lucky here with this one. All we have to do is summon Lord Glizzy, the best PC reviewing dog in the world, and there he is, mate. All he asked for is aggressive pets as payment, and he is ready to see what is going on under the hood of these PCs. So, yeah, how's it going, buddy? Alright, get the hell out of here, sausage. We need to unbox this thing. We'll grab you once we're ready. We've got the box upside down and ripped the top off with no regard for human life, and there she sort of is, mate. Now, this PC is very secure, which is great. MSI always does a good job of securing their PCs for shipping. Unfortunately, we can't see the PC because of this black bag, but one thing we can see is the keyboard and mouse that it comes with. Now, 99% of PCs that provide peripherals usually give you gonorrhea-infested plastic nonsense. I mean, look at the crap that is included in every Micro Center PC. But props to MSI on this one, mate, because their keyboard is actually really good. It is extremely clicky. Listen to me smash the keys down. The board is also individually lit with ARGB, so perfect if you're a 10-year-old Fortnite tweaker. Plus, the mouse is pretty sturdy and has a light-up dragon on it. Happy days, mate. Moving back to the PC, and all we have left is some packaging foam between us and $1,400 of RTX 5070 Ti gaming rig, so ain't nothing to it but to do it. And, alright, player, I see you. A normal-sized motherboard in an ATX case, a 3-fan GPU, 2 sticks of RAM. Okay, maybe we struck gold with this thing. I am starting to get pretty excited now. But to determine this, I gotta call in my buddy who's an expert in pre-built gaming PCs to tell us if it's good. Alright, there is the hairy slinker. Do you like it? Okay, take it easy, mate. You know the drill. 2 firm handshakes and let's light it up like the 4th of July. And there we go, mate. This monstrosity is now turned on. Now, this thing has 5 total fans in it, so it's not usually as bright as our ARGB puke machines containing 10 Infinity fans, but overall, it's a very good looking case. I particularly love the design at the front where you have 3 large ARGB fans that has this half glass to show them off. And then right next to it, it has this nice ventilation-like design on the right to bring air into the case. Now this baby is air cooled, which people always abuse me in the comments about, saying air cooling sucks, but if you saw our previous video, we used a $16 air cooler and kept a 9950 X3D under 81 degrees at full load. So any air cooler haters out there, you can shove your 360mm AIO where the sun don't shine. Other than that, the cable management on this thing is exceptional. There isn't a scratch on the PC case as well. It literally looks brand new. So MSI refurbished Woot Woot products coming through in the clutch once again. Good job, mate. So we have wrestled this PC case onto its side, and once we unscrew it and take the 450-watt cable out, we are met with this 3-fan MSI Ventus. Now, it's not the best looking card up close compared to some other designs, I'm not gonna lie, and it does feel like it's made out of cheap plastic when you're holding it, but it does a great job of cooling, mate, so that's all that really matters, right? Under 100% load, we are looking at just under the sexy time number of 69 degrees, and in general, the cheapest RTX 5070 Ti I can find brand new on the market right now is $999, and it's this baby right here over on Newegg. So the fact that we got a whole gaming PC with this for 1,450 United States New England Patriots is a stonking deal, mate. Moving on to the RAM, and speaking of stonking, can I interest you in 32 gigabytes of T-Force Vulcan DDR5 clocked at 6,000 megatransfers per second with a CL of 38? Not bad considering these sticks brand new are currently $400 over on Amazon. So with the price of the RAM and the RTX 5070 Ti alone, we've basically already made our money back. What a deal. Now it's time to remove the air cooler of this bad boy. These things are usually 16 to 20 bucks on Amazon, and we can reveal the CPU lying underneath, and in reading the specs of this thing, it's definitely the weak point of the build. Introducing for the first time a very filthy Ryzen 7 8700F. Once we give it a good clean, we can see it was made in 2022. This baby has 8 cores and 16 threads, and when we compare it to its brother, the Ryzen 7700, it has a slightly slower base clock of 4.1 gigabytes and much less L3 catch, which is very important for gaming. So in my opinion, it's not an ideal pairing for the $1,000 RTX 5070 Ti, but at 1440p, where the CPU isn't as important, she'll be fine, mate. Heck, this Ryzen 7 8700 RTX 5070 Ti combo performed so well that even a scrub like Hank, who has no thumbs and plays with a controller, got 12 eliminations in a 4K Fortnite match. This gaming PC played at well over 300 frames per second, but unfortunately, Hank got too cocky and got blasted right in the face and emoted on to finish second. Sucks to be you, sausage. Plus, for a rig like this that we paid $1,449 for, it's easy enough to sell the CPU and upgrade down the track. However, there is one slight issue. MSI is once again doing MSI things and using bottom of the barrel motherboards. They have thrown in this cheap MSI Pro B650 VC Wi-Fi 3, which if paired with something like a 40 series card or even a 5060, okay, great, but mate, you've got a 5070 Ti in there, and trying to upgrade the 8700F to a 9800 X3D, for example, isn't ideal in this motherboard because the VRMs are terrible. The rear I/O is also extremely basic with no USB-C port, plus the PCIe slot for the GPU only supports PCIe 4 when the 5070 Ti can utilize PCIe 5. Now, is this the end of the world? Meh, for PC elitist virgins like me and Hank, it boils our blood, but for the average consumer, it'll run completely fine with this board.
Are you sure about that?
Now, it does only have 2 DIMM slots for the RAM, but to be fair, AMD CPUs only run efficiently with 2 DIMM slots, so that doesn't really matter here. Plus, it has a USB-C header which can attach from the front I/O, and it also has 3 M.2 slots as well. So it's not awful compared to some of the other trash boards we've seen.
Liar!
So if you did manage to get your hands on this current MSI Aegis for just over $1,400 like we did, we'll definitely take it, mate. But if you purchase this brand new for over 2,000 United States French fries, I'm sorry, mate, but in my opinion, you've got scammed here. Now, the last thing we need to check out before we put this jigsaw back together is the M.2. It's a 2TB drive from WD, a Gen 4 NVMe rated up to 5,000 megabytes of sequential read speed, so she ain't too shabby, but nothing to write home about, mate. And brand new right now, it costs $249, which is sickening, mate. God, I hope this AI bubble will pop soon. So now that we've got the front components of the PC all checked out, it's time to turn this around and look inside the booty. But first, we need to apply some thermal paste, so with a quick slide of the hand, wha-bam! We've put just the right amount to cool this monster, you know, nothing crazy or anything.
You cannot be serious!
Screw the CPU cooler back on each side little by little until it's on nice and tight. Throw the DDR5 RAM back into this 2 DIMM slot cheap motherboard, and finally, let's get our RTX 5070 Ti and throw it into the top PCIe socket. Well, Well, nah, we ain't gonna do that right now, mate. We'll explain later. Now, ideally for a 5070 Ti pre-build, you'd hope for an 850 watt power supply, but as we do the big reveal, nah, MSI being cheap like usual and giving us the MAG A750GL. Now, it is tier B on the PSU tiers list, so it's pretty high quality, but come on, mate, give us 850 watts, you bums. Now, yes, I know, once again, we paid $1,400 for this, so you pay pennies, you get monkeys, mate, but this brand new would have cost closer to $2,000, so shove it up your ass, MSI. So we have the PC back together, and what's the final verdict, you ask? Well, for just under $1,500, any 5070 Ti gaming PC is a bargain right now in 2026, but for the overall components, this thing would definitely pair better with a much lower graphics card. So you're probably looking at this thing right now thinking, mate, you didn't even put the GPU in previously. What in sweet baby Jehovah is this nonsense? Well, as I said in the beginning, if the components were good enough, I was going to flip this baby, and these components are more than adequate for an RTX 5060. So with that, I introduced the MSI Ventus 3-fan RTX 5060, mate. Basically the identical brother of the 5070 Ti in terms of the aesthetics of this graphics card, just much lighter by the touch and also much less powerful with only 8GB of VRAM. Now we managed to get this baby for a pretty decent $255 off Facebook Marketplace from this very nice fella who weirdly also just upgraded to a 5070 Ti, so small world, mate. So right now we are shoving this baby into the MSI rig, and the RTX 5070 Ti is now being put with something much more deserving of its power. So to actually price these parts out, we are going to say in a perfect world that the RTX 5070 Ti is worth its MSRP of 750 United States beef briskets. So if we take that out and subtract it from the starting price of our MSI rig, which was 1,449 United States dollars and 99 American cents, we are now left with $699.99. So now we replace it with the $255 RTX 5060 and wabam, we have a PC that cost us $954.99 straight out of our pocket. Now don't worry, mate, if your head is about to explode from all these calculations, it's going to get even worse, because we are throwing this RTX 5070 Ti into an absolute beast of a rig we built a few episodes ago. The link to this video is down below and will be at the end as well. Originally, it had an RTX 5090, 64GB of RAM and 8TB of storage. Unfortunately for the potential buyer, we have kept those parts for ourselves and are now replacing them with a $250 kit of 32GB of RAM, a $180 2TB M.2 storage, and now the $750 RTX 5070 Ti. It is all inside this beautiful Okinos Infinity 6 case with 9 total Infinity fans in an AIO with the world's ugliest but best PC building dog that ever lived sitting on the front. So when we add those parts together, we are left with a PC that cost us 2001 American oil rig dollars. So we are hoping to sell both of these bad boys within a week. It is currently Saturday the 11th of April and we are hoping to sell them by Saturday the 18th of April. Can we do it?
Nope.
Well, let's find out. To start off these flips, we listed the RTX 5060 MSI rig on Jawa for $1,299. Jawa GG actually gives you a price to performance ratio, and it's saying right now that it lists ours as 4.4, which is pretty great value, mate. Now, if we did end up selling this on Jawa, it would give us a total of $1,152.86 after we paid fees, but we didn't sell it on Jawa, mate. We ended up selling it to a nice fella on Facebook Marketplace. We started the price at $1,199 with the idea of dropping it every few days until we got this baby off our hands. In terms of the messages that we got, it sold pretty quickly, so there wasn't much. We had a dude offer us $900. Yeah, mate, I'd rather take 900 kicks to the groin. Get out of here. Now, I thought this would be the worst that the lowballing got to, but unfortunately, it got even worse. Would you take $450? Please, this would be my first gaming PC, and it's the only money I have. Mate, what do I look like, Mr. Breast? Here's the world's smallest violin playing in the background. Hit the road, Jack, and never come back. But finally, we had a real buyer. This fella hit me up with, how about $1,050? And I came back with a little, meet me in the middle at $1,100, and he said that was fair. He ended up rolling through with the cash on a Saturday at 11 a.m. and even left me a review after the transaction saying, best experience I've had on Facebook Marketplace. Super helpful and transparent. Thanks, mate. You are the GOAT. So with the PC costing us $954 $64.99 out of pocket. We made a cool 145 American dollars and 1 United cent, so not too bad at all, mate. Now moving on to our 2001 Buccarino RTX 5070 Ti 9850 X3D Beast. We initially had it listed for $2,599. I thought that was good value when I initially put it up there, but we are getting absolutely price mogged by some very similar spec PCs when we search it on Java. Now, I'd personally argue that all of these PCs, even though they cost less and have the same specs, don't look nearly as good as how my sweet baby looks. But look at this one right here, $2,249.99 on Java, knowing for a fact that he's going to be hit with a very stiff fee. This dude is the GOAT, mate. He's got 19 Jawas watching and a 5.3 price to performance ratio. This is going to be sold any minute now. Looking back at our PC, it's only rated a 4.2 on the price to performance scale, so that is still pretty good, but not nearly as good as this fella right here. Now, if we sold it for $2,599 on Java, we would get a payout of $2,306.61. So based on that, we started it on Facebook Marketplace, listed for $2,229, and after a week, we literally only had one message. This dude asked if we would accept a trade for a 2003 Toyota Camry. It has 189,000 miles on it, but still runs great, and it's a salvaged title. Mate, I would rather you tie me to two separate Toyota Camrys and drive them in opposite directions, ripping me clean in half. Don't ever message me again, mate. So the final question is, did we clutch up and actually sell it on Java? Well, I am happy to say, ladies and gentlemen, we did not do it. 70 views, 3 saves, no sales, mate. Like, you suck when it comes to PC flipping. Now get out of here. Me and the Glizzy love ya. Goodbye.